I'm Richard Kelleher. I work in the Department of Coins and Medals at the Fitzwilliam Museum. I'm the assistant keeper of medieval modern coins. That means I look after the collection that you can see, in cabinets at least, to my right. Now, the coin I've picked to discuss today is a large gold piece. It's almost 15.5 grams in weight, and it comes from the late medieval period, from the reign of Henry VII. It was struck in 1489 at the Tower of London, which was the powerhouse of medieval coin production. Now, on the obverse, which is the front of the coin, the ones you have in your pocket or purse, it's the side with the Queen's head on, has a large image of the king seated in an ornamental throne. He's holding the orb and the scepter, which are the objects of medieval kingship, and around the exterior of the image is an inscription. Now, these are always in Latin. Even the modern coins we have today have Latin inscriptions, and they tell us who the coin was minted for and what he's basically the king of. So, Henry, by the grace of God, King of England, France, and Lord of Ireland. And medieval kings claimed the kingship of France right up until the reign of George III. And that was typical of that period. On the reverse, we have a large Tudor rose, unsurprisingly, because this is only 4 years after the Tudor victory over Richard III. And in the centre, we have the quartered arms of England and France, which is the badge of the country. Around the circumference of the coin on this side, we have a Latin inscription from the Gospel of Luke, which is basically a translation. It is Jesus passing through the midst of them went on his way, and it was a popular medieval inscription for charms, which is interesting because it is against the dangers of travel, against thieves and things like that. But that's that's sort of typical of these large-sized medieval coins. You've got enough room on the reverse to have more than just saying where this thing was minted and what the king's name is. Now, I mentioned that medieval coins were produced predominantly at the Tower of London at this period, and the process wasn't a mechanised one. It involved the hammering of 2 iron dies with a hammer and this disc in between the two, and that would impress the image onto both sides. Gold coins aren't very common. We have 3 examples of this kind of coin here in the museum. And for the population of medieval England, they were uncommon. This would be something that would circulate among the elite, among royalty, the aristocracy, and merchants, the people like that. Gold first was produced in any significant quantity in the middle of the 14th century, and this continued up until, as long as gold has been produced, in fact. Now, it's interesting because this is the biggest gold coin produced until this point, and its value is 240 pence, 20 shillings, which is effectively a pound coin. So it looks very different from the pound coin you might have in your pocket today, but this is the kind of ancestor of that. Now, this coin comes from a period, really, and it's the kind of terminal point of one thing and the beginning of another. You sort of get to the end of the medieval period, you start to see now influences from Renaissance Italy on the artistry used. You move away from idealized images of the king to realistic portraiture. That's what we're starting to see now. You move away from some of the medieval denominations and we start to see things like the pound. We see the shilling coming in here, sixpences, things that might have been certainly familiar to the previous generation before decimalisation. And this is that kind of terminal point that we're starting to see in the coinage, and that came in under Henry VII and was kind of right up to the reign of Elizabeth. We start to see those innovations.